No wonder you didn't want my sister here, huh?
Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of Take This Tip Podcast. I'm your host, Shaun.
I'm your host, Nick, and we have a special guest
Special
today.
guest.
Close friend, long time friend, Miss Susie.
Susie
guys.
G. Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
It's been long overdue. I'm glad that it happened at the right time, but the wrong time.
I agree.
The reason why I say the right time is because we came together to be able to speak on certain topics that we feel are necessary, and also gives the viewers a chance to for you to shine your light on how you feel about the topics that we'll discuss today.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she canceled on us like twice already, but
I
it's
thought it was
okay.
3 times.
Oh, maybe 3 times. I don't know.
It was actually 4 guys. Do your
I was
math.
about
Do
to
your
say
math.
times.
4 times.
See?
But
Can't
just
even
like,
keep track.
Shaun said, it's, everything happens for a reason. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful that we're able to have you here today
Thank you.
so that we can discuss some things that are going on that is kind of sensitive to all of us, and we want to again shed a light and highlight, hopefully bring some positivity out of what's going on today.
First thing I kind of want to ask all of us.
Mine or
This, move it up. That's fine.
More towards your mouth.
Kind of how you. Never mind. We don't get into that. Is that better? So, I kind of wanted to do a kind of like a start off question for all of us. How's everybody doing mentally?
you want to answer that first?
I feel like everything's heavy right now. I think it's definitely taking a mental toll because right now you just don't know like who to trust. So you're just driving by the streets like, am I safe? Am I not? Are my parents safe and stuff like that? So mentally, I think it's taking a toll on me for sure.
Yeah. Again, like I said, it's sensitive to all of us. The things that are going on in LA. We all know somebody that can possibly be affected by what's going on, if not have already been affected. But not only that, as you know, the month of May has been heavy. I lost like 3 family members, so I've been like going through a lot. So, but just gotta keep going. The world don't stop just because things happen. So you just gotta keep putting out good energy, good positive thoughts, and hopefully they'll come back to you.
Yeah.
So, about you?
For me, it's been sleepless nights. Sleepless nights because of just what's going on in the world, what's going on with me, just not just being just a father, but an uncle, a friend, making sure that the people that you love are in good spirits. Also make sure that they're safe. I'm not saying that I didn't see this coming, but low key I didn't. And it's because I didn't think, excuse my language, I didn't think these hoe ass niggas was gonna actually vote for him.
Goes back to who you don't know who to trust, right?
Yeah. And it's like, it's a lot of politic around it, and I'm not big on politics, but me personally, I feel like it's not just draining us, like our generation, but I feel like it's draining the generation above us and the youth that's coming behind us, because they're looking at us for, hey, what are y'all going to do for us to move in the image of y'all? Or, and that could be something positive, like how you said, or it could be something that doesn't have to get physical, but it just needs to shine more light on it, if you know what I mean.
If I can just speak just basically on just the election, it just shows how many people are just misinformed, or just they don't have enough information or the knowledge when it comes to elections and things like that, and who they're voting into these positions. So we have to do better as people to, you know, make sure that we're getting this knowledge and retaining this knowledge and, you know, putting, you know, voting the right people to make these decisions that affect our everyday.
Yeah. So do you both think that it starts from not just the highest, but it also starts with like the inner city, like who we choose to be our mayor, you know, things like that?
For sure. But if you can see like what's happening just today, like I had to pause and just take a moment, like, look how we,
It's bittersweet.
you know, like when we
bittersweet,
all come
for
together,
sure.
like that, you just don't know how powerful that is.
True.
But I would really, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
go do it.
I want you to kind
Yeah,
of
for
elaborate on
sure.
that.
I feel like we were like raised like, okay, you know, we need to listen, we need to do things right and stuff. I'm not saying that all of my kind, because that's what we're being called, right? That we're all hard workers. I feel like there's criminals in every like color, every race, everything. And I agree with cleaning our streets, because even though we're already older, it might not affect us, but what about the generation that we're creating, my kids and then their kids, my grandkids, and you know, like we need to make changes now to make sure that we protect them. We're already older. You know, this is not the first time we've seen this in history. It's just like you said, like I low key seen it coming, but I didn't, because I feel like 2025, like really. But I'm also very proud that, you know, LA stood up and said, hell no, not today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So my question for the both of you is, well, for all of us, why does it take for something like this to happen for us to come together and unite? Because how I grew up, it was a lot of division. There was no adding and multiplying. There was no, oh, we together, you know, all the time. Like, I grew up in Inglewood, right? There was certain parts where I couldn't go, not just because I was a kid and I just wanted to just, oh, I want to see the whole city. It was just like, nah, you can't go there because certain people don't always look at you as equal. Some
agree.
people like to, I'm more than you, you're not more than me, and vice versa. And it's beautiful to see LA come together, beautiful to see Inglewood come together. But if it's gonna be like this, cool. But make sure when all this is over, it stay like this.
Yeah.
Because what happens is we go back and now it's, oh, fuck you. Where you from? Oh, you from that side of town? Now you can't be over here. Go back to where you came from. And it shouldn't be like that. We should all be able to sit down how we are right now and have a discussion and be united and be one. And that's just my, my point of view on it.
Well, maybe that's why this needed to happen. We don't know why. We just know that it's happening. And what are we going to do about it? What can we do? And I'm glad that we're doing the right thing. We're all uniting together. And like right now, no hood matters. No color matters. We got white people out there with us. We got black people with us. We got a little bit of everything, because at the end of the day, what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
It's completely wrong. And it's inhumane.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
And that's why we're mad. And that's why we had to tear shit up, because we needed to be heard.
Right. Well, for me, like to answer your question, before like today, I've been battling like kind of like how I wanted to approach this episode.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want to shine a light and bring some positivity out of it. But like I sent you the screenshot of a text message that was sent to me that I didn't really care for. If we've been honest.
What was it?
The text message was like, "Oh, you supporting them?" type shit. But as I thought more about it, and I'm just like, first we have to remove self, right?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, like you said, we're all human.
Yeah.
We had a discussion earlier today. I'm like, do we not have any fucking morals?
Yeah.
Because if it was happening to us, we would want like, for somebody to speak up.
It's like me watching someone beating you up, and I'm just gonna stand there and watch it. Like it's just wrong.
So for those people out there that are saying that this is not our fight, fuck the Hispanic community, all those different things, it's not about that.
Shout out to whoever sent you that message. We're still here. We're not going to go nowhere. And yes, they support us.
It's not about that, you know, and people always want to make it a race thing. Yes, most of the time it is a race thing, but it's history always has a way of repeating itself.
True.
So it just moves from the next. It's just gonna go from this community to the next community to the next.
Because they're not just taking Mexicans, they're taking Asians.
Right. It has to stop somewhere. If you don't stand for something, you don't stand for nothing.
True. And
so where do we draw the line? So I'm never gonna be the type to just sit back and just ignore what's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if there's a time where that I need to speak up, or I need to say something, or I need to, make my voice heard, if the other person can't make their voice heard, I'm gonna say something.
True.
Because I don't know if y'all know about the little kiddo that was taken away in Torrance.
Mm-hmm.
That bothered me.
Yeah. I read up on that. So that was very, very disturbing.
That just goes to show where it was heading. I think we are going to be successful and put a hard stop to what's going on.
Yeah. Just as long as what you said, we continue it.
Yeah, because I don't, and don't get me wrong, I'm on the side of right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not on the side of wrong. And when you sent me that message, I didn't just read it and be like, and try to respond. I just sat back and I had to like, okay, where is this person coming from? But at the same time, is this person right or is this person dead wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no in between.
Yeah.
I felt like the person was wrong due to how they responded.
I was about to say that.
The person may have wanted to give their opinion, which is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how you go about certain things. And I'm not always politically correct, but I know right from wrong though, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know how to be able to navigate through certain situations. So to the person, I still love you. It's still peace over here,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like you're wrong, and sometimes we gotta check ourselves before we let other people check us. Like we do it all the time. Like for example, not to pivot off of our discussion, but like there was an incident where I put myself into it because it was in a group setting. And I shouldn't have said it how I said it, but I said it and I stood on it, and it wasn't too distasteful, but it was still distasteful because
You talking about Long Beach?
No, I'm not talking about that.
Oh.
I'm talking about like when you and Steven hit me, it was like, hey bro, like you wrong, man. Just apologize. Like we get where you coming from, but just apologize. And I did, no questions.
A lot of the times it's how you say it. It's how you say it. It is the delivery.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I can't throw a stone and hide my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to be on the even playing field. But to get back to us, how was it like growing up in the cities that you both lived in? And like what trend, at what point did you realize, hey, it doesn't have to be divided. Like we can actually like be one.
Let me go first.
Go for it. Mm-hmm.
To be honest, when I became an adult,
okay,
and started to see different things and, just have my own thoughts and my own perspectives and opinions about, things.
Yeah.
But growing up as a kid, it was just like I had Hispanic friends and I've had all type of friends. I'm okay with anybody that's, okay with me.
Yeah.
But still like, and then also to kind of touch on what that person was saying too, like that's their experience. So that's where they're coming from. But you don't pass that down to,
Yeah, like I can't default you, but but you're still wrong.
That's why racist.
You can't say like in Spanish you say por uno pagan todos. Like for one, everyone pays. Like that's not okay either.
Right.
I'm not gonna categorize you because of what some other young black male could have been doing. I'm like, okay, now all of you guys fall in that category. It doesn't work like
Exactly.
that.
And
Real
as
We
I
go
was
back to
saying,
morals.
Real
Right,
quick,
but-
can you just look into like your camera and kind of like say that again? Cause no, for real, cause she said it fast, and I really want to understand like the meaning behind like the word she just used, what she said in Spanish.
Okay.
I didn't understand.
Well, we said like que por uno pagan todos. Like for one, everyone pays. Like
Okay.
okay, now this Mexican did this. Now you know what? We don't deal with them. We don't talk to them because I had this experience. Like it's like saying I'm not gonna have another boyfriend. Like don't we all just replace each other at the end of the day, right? We keep going. Life keeps going.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, this is the worst breakup. I'm never gonna have another boyfriend. We keep going and we keep going, and I just feel that that's where we grew up wrong. That everybody started dividing themselves. Like, oh no, like us being Hispanic, like black people don't like us, and we don't like black people. That's how we grew up, and we grew up in a small community where it was just mostly Latinos. And whenever we seen other races, it's like, what are you guys doing here? Because we just didn't click with anyone because we were brought up like that. But then when I became an adult, I was able to make my own choices and all that. I started to see like, okay, well, they're not all the same, you know? So that's when you're whoever sent you that, like now you're an adult. If they experienced that as a kid, I get it. But come on, let's be for real.
That's what I was saying too. Like to in conclusion, that's why racism still exists because you just pass it on. You're not really looking at the situation and actually having a conversation and being like, this is how I feel about this. Well, you never know, but I don't know if we'll ever get to that point where it just doesn't exist because you have people like that are just like, wanting to continue it. I feel like all this shit starts and stops at home. You don't.
Yeah.
A kid is not just brought into this world racist.
True.
You know what I'm
Very
saying? Like
true.
you teach that. You teach these behaviors and they adapt and they pick up these behaviors from what they see in their household. So in my opinion.
True.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about all the protests around the world? It's beautiful though, right?
I think it's dope. I didn't think it would catch fire like that. But I'm loving it.
Yes.
I love to see it, and I love how it just all it took was just a certain amount of people to just say, you know what, enough is a fucking
That's
enough.
right.
And then from there it just went from. It seemed like it just was like
A wildfire.
a protest wildfire all through California, and then you start seeing it in other states and things
Chicago,
like that.
Boston,
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's a beautiful
Yeah,
wave.
Chicago. I think it was New York too. If I'm not mistaken. Like it's
San
dope to see
Diego
it.
was
Yeah.
packed.
Dope to see it. It was even dope to see Inglewood finally they're actually having their second protest
right
today.
now.
Right now. So shout out to the city. Shout out to y'all for wish I was there. And I just felt like my voice, not even my voice. I'm starting to use a different word now. I'm starting to say my sound. Because I won't.
Same difference.
Because when you hear music, how music makes you want to move and do certain things, and it gets you in like a certain mode, like certain music make you want to go to the gym and work out, or
Very
go
powerful.
the extra mile to get there. So it's like my voice has my sound can possibly shift the mindset of the youth, and show them like, hey, I've been through this. You don't got to worry about it. Here's the blueprint. Take it and run with it, man, and add on, actually.
I noticed that you always, when we have these episodes and discussions, you always bring up the youth. What do you feel the youth can take from this situation that's going on in LA and all over the world right now?
I feel like the youth can take heed to actually what's going on, and they don't have to be scared to actually stand up and actually go outside and protest and be civilized. You don't have to crash out. You don't have to be what they think you're going to be. Like they already have this notation of, okay, if these group of Black and Latino kids and Asian kids and white kids go outside and they come together, they gonna crash out and try to break in stores and set things on fire and loot and do all this and that. There are actually some youth out here that's actually taking heed and that's protesting the right way.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
you try to reach as many as you like. How you told me the other day, try to reach as many as you can. The ones that get it. And I pray to God that the rest of y'all that's out here crashing out, instead of actually trying to understand what's actually going on and the reason why, y'all come to some sense. Just pray on it.
Yeah.
Pray on it.
I mean, that's why, we was asked this question maybe, I don't know, maybe a year ago. We were talking about, what made you want to start the podcast.
Yeah.
And it was always to educate, motivate, and inspire.
Yeah.
So it's all about just, providing information and just, offering our perspective on situations like this, our upbringing, and just also, connecting with other people that have, similar perspectives and stuff that can offer something and just good advice, good energy, and just positivity.
Okay, so question for y'all. We'll start with Susie. Give me 3 people outside of your family and friends that you have come across that have inspired you to be a representation of something good in this world today.
That's a good question.
Anyways, we'll let the bromance keep happening. Honestly, I grew up very with my family, so I think the world has inspired me, but then I'd be lying if I say I don't feel resentful for those who voted for Trump, and that's including friends and family members. Your vote counted, and this is the repercussion of that action. And here we are cleaning up your mess. You're welcome. And I'm doing
Talk
everything
heavy.
for my family and my parents, because although I was born and raised here, I was just born in a hospital here. My blood is full Mexican, full blown. I just have a paper that says I was born on this land. That's the only difference. And I don't forget what my parents went through to be here. Crossing the border back then was in car trunks, coyotes through the desert, And everyone, and I'm including my parents and everyone who had to go through that so that we can be here, even if we switch it around, because we make it about race. Martin Luther King made many, 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 he opened many doors for everyone, and I feel like our people, or that generation that came out here across the border, they opened that door for us.
Yeah.
And why are we any better now? I can't forget that. So I'm going to continue to fight for what my parents fought for back then.
That's dope. So nobody.
Right now, I just
nobody, like a protester you may have met outside today or something like that.
Honestly, when I was out there protesting, I was just talking shit to all of them, especially my kind. And he was like, "It must be the mustache," and I was like, "No, you can take it off, and I can still tell you're Mexican. You should educate your people before they just start dragging everyone." And I was just more focused, because it hurts me. It hurts me to see that. Did you forget that your people had to cross the border for you to be in that suit? So it was more like I was there to protest. I was there to make my voice heard and to talk shit to them, and I did.
Gotcha.
So right now I'm just on that tunnel vision.
Gotcha.
Can you ask the question one more time?
Just say my name.
Man, please.
Say my name. Say my name.
Say baby, I love
No, but
Did y'all imagine us in the ER working together?
This is what y'all get.
Hey, music works, right?
This is what y'all get. No, but the question was, what 3 people have inspired you outside of your family or friends that you've come across and met?
Like, G, I probably wouldn't be able to answer the question.
Because you got a lot of people. Look at the message you got.
Well, I do have a lot of, how I look at things is I kind of take something from everybody.
Got you.
If you have anything positive about you, I kind of in a way, kind of steal that and kind of mimic that in a way and kind of make it into my own. I do that a lot. So,
So who's somebody that what they said positive to you stuck out to you a little bit more?
One of my older teachers, former teachers, his name Moody. We still keep in contact. We had him on the episode, and he always like dropping gems, dropping knowledge. I have a lot of people that always try to throw something out there and just kind of guide me and just offer knowledge, information. It's really important who you hang around and who you keep in your circle.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes it's every day. It can be it can be a stranger. It can be a patient that I'm talking to that's giving me knowledge, giving me game. So it can be many people. So
the people that hunk, they inspire me because I be driving with my flag out like this, and they see me and they're hunking, and I'm just like, yeah. And right now I'm just bumping nothing but corridos, and I just want to make sure that they know this Mexican is here, and I'm not going nowhere.
Oh.
Yeah, but can't really answer that one.
How about yourself?
Yeah. For me, one person is person that I have my brand inside of their store. His name is Steven. He drops gems all the time. Every time I come in there, he's like, hey, they got this out right for your business. You can do this and do that. And it's like he says so fast, but if you catch it, you'll wind up Googling it on your laptop. Like, oh, snap, he wasn't playing. Okay, apply. Like, let me not even play with this. Like, yeah, I just applied and yeah, this and that. And he's like, look, if you want to take this far, do this and go this way. And, and then if you paying attention, he's actually like, hey, we finna go here real quick. Just random. Next thing you know, you wind up meeting people, successful people in the community that you didn't even know was there, all because you didn't think twice and you just went with your first mind and you went out and you were able to just connect and network with people. Another person that inspires me, and I don't give them the credit I should, but I do.
What's her name? Spit it out.
Oh, that's crazy.
What's her name?
Wow.
Just kidding.
That's wild.
It's okay. You're in a safe space.
They finna clip that shit so crazy. He gonna make sure he put that one out first. Like,
no, for real.
That's gonna be crazy.
But
the pastor. Who? You know what I'm talking about.
From the church?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
From the gas station, Nico.
Pastor from the gas. When I can, I do try to go to church, to get closer to God, and just fellowship as well. But if you really just sit in there, it's like sometimes he's preaching to the congregation, but sometimes it's like he ain't gotta look at you, but he's talking to you though. You know what I mean?
Message.
And it's like he and it's like it's so powerful that you just sit there and you be like what? Like,
yeah,
bro, I was just going and you talking to, but he talking to everybody.
Yeah,
God works in mysterious
ways.
Definitely.
Man, and sometimes I'll be like, bro, I'm not finna tear up in this church. So sometimes I'll put my head down and I just pray like, man, like God give me the strength to get through this cause he's talking. And then
that was dope,
the pivotal moment is when he be like, I know it's somebody out there that needed this message today. And and you don't gotta tell me who you are, but just know God put this on my heart to give to you. And I'll be like, bruh, he talking to me, bruh.
Just say my name.
Yeah, like just and it's dope. And it does kind of give me like a peace of mind, like, okay, like I'm here for a reason, and it's very inspiring, because then I'm able to go home and my niece and nephew may be there and they're like, hey, uncle, like where was you at? Oh, I was at church. Hey, let me talk to you real quick. And I give them the same game or the same message that, God gave to me. I continue to pass it on and inspire. Because at the end of the day, like I say to youth,
will rise.
The youth will rise. You know.
So what would you? This is a question for everybody. What would you say that your purpose is in this world?
Man, my purpose is to not only keep it champ, but to show the world that they can keep it champ too, and they don't have to belittle themselves. When I say champ is a word of endearment. If you're from Inglewood, you know when we speak, we say, "What's up, champ? How you feeling, champ?" And it's not to disrespect you. It's like, nah, like we the city of champions, so we see you as the great person that you are without us even having to tell you that, you know? So, you know, for me, it's like to be able to give back what wasn't given to me, which was an opportunity, you know, to be able to be somebody that they said I couldn't be, you know? When it's so dope because sometimes when I see a group of kids, I know who the black sheep is.
Mm-hmm. You can tell.
You can tell. It's like he wanna say something and he want to, but he play the background. You know.
I don't mean to cut you. Keep your thought. But just today at the conference, there was like a raffle, right?
Yeah.
And it was a raffle. The person who won some money, right?
Yeah.
And the dude that remember at church with that the raffle, the same dude that won that day won again.
Yeah.
Right. And I ain't gonna lie, I was like, hey, and I'm like, why does Nicc winning? So I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, whatever. But he did something else so dope. The dude that it was a younger kiddo, sitting there not really engaging. His brother wasn't really like kind of locked in. He was just kind of just like off and just like, you know, what he did was he won the money, said it right in front of him. And when you saw like his face, just everything, his posture, everything just changed. And I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, that was dope. And I thought to myself, I was like, it went to the right person because I would have kept that money. And I was just like, but like, it was like that needed to happen.
Yeah.
You know, because like, you just don't know what that could have done for just him. Yeah. You know? So I thought that was so dope.
Yeah. Also to leave something in this world that will last forever, you know, and not just through my family, but through your family, through her family, through his family, and
her
family.
Yeah,
don't forget Aaliyah.
Don't forget
Aaliyah.
Don't clip it out. Leave him and put him on
it's
blast.
not that I forgot about you. It's just God sent them to finish delivering that message. Amen.
Look at him.
I'm cooking my toe. Y'all ain't finna get me.
we know.
But I do want to say this though. The reason why I also wanted us to be here is because, like how I said, like about the black sheep, I kind of see us like that. You know, I see like me, you, me silent. You know, you, you know, me, like we're all black sheep in a sense, meaning we're that person in our family that can change the narrative and become something great because we have the ability to do so because God gives us the ability to do so. And we're not scared anymore to take the risk because we know that by you taking the risk, you don't know if you're going to fail or not. And you always say, no matter what we go through, pivot. And every time
how you
pivot,
go matters too, you know.
Yeah, and every time this man pivots, he lands back on his feet, and next thing you know, he done dropped 20 points. Same thing with the bro over here.
You know, real quick to add, I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry, but I was just thinking. I got a text from a friend from high school.
Yeah.
Like a long message. He was just like encouraging me and thanking me for like always like just, you know, being there, listening to him, helping him and all these different things. And one of the things that stood out in the message was, it was like how you maneuver through life is just amazing.
Yeah.
Because he's just watching me, like just how from where I was to where I'm at now. And I use the term pivot because it's just like you have to understand that life is always going to happen. So I learned that at a young age when, when things happen in my household and I had to step up and do certain things that I wasn't ready for. So what I learned from that lesson was like, be ready for whatever, right? But also to add on to that, pivoting is moving with purpose.
Yeah. And that, and that's why it's so dope. And which brings me back to how in Inglewood we say we play chess, not checkers. You understand chess and you realize it. You realize, like, even though I may have moved and made it, and it may not, I thought it was a good move, but it's really a bad move, I could still figure out a way to maneuver about that shit. You know what I mean? And like I was saying for him, like, the fact that man went through what he went through and he still got back on his feet, like with no questions. He don't think about it twice. None of that. Like, and then same thing with Susie.
I was just about to say.
Same. I was just going to get to her. Same thing with Susie. Like it's inspiring to see where you came from when I first met you to who you are now, and I applaud that because you don't see that shit every day. And if it ain't God, bruh, I'm just telling you,
look,
bro.
Susie, correct me if I'm wrong. We was just talking about this. I was like, if anybody ever had like angels and just somebody just like watching over them, the way she maneuvered, it's like she could be down, but you never gonna know.
She may have lost the ball, but let you miss that motherfucker. She gonna get the rebound.
She's gonna get it
go back down the court to score again.
Because just like you never gonna see her down. She's like, I told her today, I was like, you have a way of like just adapting to whatever. And just come out of the situation and just like on top.
It's we all have a choice.
Yeah, that's true. And then people tell me that you're just so resilient. No, this right here is the definition of resilient
for sure.
Thank you, guys.
They're definitely dedicated and motivated.
Yeah,
and continue to inspire the other young ladies that are out here.
Exactly.
Because again, it's not a lot of you out here. And and that's why I was so adamant. Like, bro, whatever you do, she gotta come here. I don't care if she gotta go out there first and come here last. Cool, whatever time we gotta, because it's young ladies out here. They may not be able to hear outside, but they'll be able to go home and actually hear you inside. You get what I'm saying? And because it's too much going on outside, it's too much chaos, it's too much. Ain't nobody really trying to hear nobody, because everybody's talking about the same thing, so nobody's really paying attention. But
to add on to that, it's just like for those who are not out there, this gives
gives them opportunity to hear
something positive. And
it's safe to say, like, the black sheep out there. My parents are no, don't go out there. It's not. But it's just I couldn't sit there and watch, and I'm not. So I ended up just going right after work on a Monday because my mom couldn't control me then, but when I was all weekend at her house, I didn't want to worry her. But Monday came and I went straight after work to protest, and she was a little upset, but afterward they're like, what? Because I was showing them videos of like what I was telling them, and they're like, you told them that? And I was like, yeah. They're like, oh, good job, we're happy. So then they were so proud of me.
Sometimes being uncontrolled, being not in control in your past life will get you in control in your future.
Man, I can speak on that too. Coming up, in my household, pretty much nobody really holding no job, assistants and all these other different things. And I was the one that made the decision. Was like, no, fuck that, I'm gonna work. So if it fucks up whatever over here, don't worry, we'll figure it out. So now when my mom and my dad look at me, they look at me differently, because it's like,
you did it.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to also give yourself a pat on the back. But also, I do want to continue to add to what Shaun was saying. Use that and give back, because you have a lot to offer. I fuck with you heavy, so I know you. But use also, in Bible terms, use your discernment. So know who you speaking to and pour into that person that will receive it. Don't just be out there just speaking to anybody.
And definitely let your sound be heard. For sure. Sometimes it, and I didn't realize this until later on. Like sometimes you see kids with like their earphones on because they trying to drown out the outside noise and try to focus in on like a certain sound. that's what some of these, younger, youth is doing, and you have the opportunity to do that, They, once this episode comes out, they can put on their earphones and actually listen in and take heed, to somebody that not only comes from the same background, but who has made it out of something crazy, and has became something way more than what they thought they would become, and that goes for all of us. Like, continue to keep growing, continue to keep inspiring, and man, don't look back, Shit, I don't go back.
And don't be afraid.
You said what?
And don't be afraid to come out.
Nah, for real. But I want someone to add you. I want to give a little bit more praise because I remember one time you asked me a question. You was like, out of all the people you've ever worked with, who would you want on your team or something like that, right?
Yeah.
You know who I said? You remember who I said?
Say who you said.
I said one of them, Susie G. Because not only is like she'll go get it, but she's not only that, but she's book smart too.
Yeah.
You cannot talk this girl.
She don't hesitate.
When it comes to not just any conversation.
I'm actually pretty quiet right now.
Yeah, because she's nervous. But
I'm actually surprised.
but you cannot talk this girl when it comes to anything in healthcare, all of that. She knows her stuff. When it comes to all these different things, and I'm not even gonna, because we'll have to go through all these lists of hospitals you didn't work for and all these different experiences, but the girl is full of knowledge and full of love too.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah.
For sure. Do you have any questions for us?
Not too personal.
Yeah, not too much.
Look at him getting ready. He's like, not too much, but let me, just in case.
Just enough.
So, Jonathan, do you remember? No, just kidding. I mean, Shaun. Sorry, guys. I know him like Jonathan. We work together. And
oh, they don't need to know that name.
And now you know.
Edit that out.
No, Aaliyah,
no. Aaliyah.
So how has this inspired like you guys, like to want to come out and like stand with us, and for you guys to even want to talk about this, giving the backlash that you even got?
Mm-hmm. Because I have morals.
Okay.
Honestly, what you said earlier, right is right, wrong is wrong. Again, if you don't stand for something, like what we doing, we just existing at that point. So
that is true.
Like I made a post. I said this in this time right now, your silence is considered. It should be considered a weakness because there's no way you can sit back and see the things that are happening and hear the stories that are happening and don't feel some kind of way.
Yeah,
you don't have a fucking soul.
Yeah,
and you will run into those.
Yeah, for sure. So remove the hate, remove the hurt, the trauma. Really try to heal.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if anybody have an issue or really don't have an issue about what's going on, you got a big problem. So that's why I'm like,
well, it's because a lot of people think it's not coming to them, but I mean, it's headed that way. Eventually. Everything has a start. Everything that finishes has to have a start. And this didn't start here. It actually started, in Gaza? Since,
oh, yeah, for sure.
With all of that happening, and it's leading us here now. And whoever thought back then, like, oh, well, that's not our fight to, that's not our battle to fight. Like, okay, well, here we are now. So now we have to fight because we didn't do it then. Now we let it come all here.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid, and thank you guys for actually standing with us. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. What was the question? You said something that inspired me?
To want to do this, to actually want to speak on it.
Episode and stuff.
I wanted to do this episode because not only did I feel like there were a bunch of people hiding behind their cell phones and not actually go outside and actually do something. And you know who I'm talking about because you DM me a bunch of bullshit about how you felt. And then when I was like, well, if you feel some type of way, come on the podcast and let's sit down and talk about it, you tucked your fucking tail. You know exactly who I'm talking about. But anyway, it's like, it's stuff like that. It's like, well, if you're not going to speak, I'm already going to speak regardless. Some of God's hardest battles is given to his strongest soldiers. You hear me? So I guess I got to go to battle alone. But I'm not just in it for the battle. I'm in it for the war, you know? Because at the end of the day, somebody got to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has to do something. Somebody has to be about it and not just bullshit and talk about it and walk outside and hold a sign up just because it's cool because you with your friends, and actually take heed and actually go beyond just holding the fucking sign or commenting under a post that don't nobody. The only people that's gonna give a fuck is the people that's commenting under that same post with you. But get outside and go do something. You know, stop.
And
You know?
I don't know if you guys heard, but when Donald Trump had said that he was gonna build the wall and have the Mexicans pay for it. Well, look at LA now. Look at downtown. It's all vandalized. It's really sad that I had to get there, but I guess that's a form of us getting a refund. Now you're gonna have to pay to clean up the streets, clean up our shit. Now we've cleaned up after you guys many years. In fact, you want to keep the people that are working for hotels and farmers. Why? You still want us to feed you? You still want us to clean after your shit? Well, I hope my people stand and say no, because we have great people that are building roofs. Why could we stay and they can't? You know, like, no, we're not going to pick and choose here. You know, we're all going to stand together, and I hope that they refuse those jobs. Have your little Dylan and Linda pick it up.
Dylan and Linda.
That's right. Don't call Maria, Jose, Panchito. We're not going to be there no more.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. Don't call the WhatsApp line.
The WhatsApp, I'm rolling. Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Comes from the heart.
What is something that you both hope will change, you know, and or what is something that you would like to see, you know, be the outcome of this? You know?
I would want the outcome to be good. Even if they send us all back to Mexico, I'll go with you guys, and then we're going to make that great over there. Whatever they do, we're going to make sure that we have a good outcome, and we let them know this is what you lost. Maybe this needs to be happen so we can go build where we need to be at. So whatever the outcome is, I just hope we go out strong, and that's it.
Well, what I've seen today was a lot of togetherness. Like, I saw not only just Hispanic people down there, I saw Asians, I saw white people, I saw black people, I saw many different races down there, and it was just like everyone was together. So that's what I hope that people hold on to and build on that, you know, because again, like I said earlier, like, you know, we're stronger together.
Yeah.
And you have to let your voice be heard, and your opinions, they just have to matter. I think not only, you know, what's going on with the community, but I think LA is just tired.
Yeah.
Tired of these high ass taxes. The rent is fucking expensive.
Gas is high.
We're getting fucked in the butt with no lube, okay? And everybody thinks LA is a place to live. No, but shit's high over here.
It is.
Real
so
high.
I'm like, what's the benefit for staying?
Pretty hard, Sean. Jonathan, you felt that one? I mean, Sean.
Pause.
He's like,
Nope.
ooh.
Shit. Because I wasn't expecting that, but I mean, it is what it is. That's my answer to that one. It is what it is, and however y'all decide to take it how you want to. You know, I ain't, you know.
For real.
No, everybody's opinion is their opinion.
It's all right.
It's for me, it's like my outcome is that it doesn't just stop just after the dust clears, you know, that it continues on, and it's not just for show. Like I don't like that. Like I don't like that people take an opportunity and make a fucking show out of it instead of actually doing something. Like go to the council meetings, you know, figure out who your mayor is and actually read them ballots and see what they doing and who they are and this and that. I know it's a lot, but it's gonna take a lot for change to happen, right? So I guess you're gonna have to do a lot then, and that's just what it is. You feel me? And that go for everybody across the board. It's not just the Hispanics, the blacks. It's everybody, because at the end of the day, you want change, but then
You're not doing anything.
Yeah, it's like
You're
like
sending
it's-
DMs.
It's like you just fucking sending DMs and
That's
you ain't really doing nothing about it.
when I thought about, again, like I told you, I was thinking about how I wanted to approach the episode, and I thought about one of my favorite quotes. And I was just like, it's a Gandhi quote: "Be the change that you want to see in the world."
Yeah,
And that's really what it boils down to. You know, treat people how you want to be treated. You know, so we start there. That can make a huge difference in the world, honestly. So, but
Both spreading kindness and negativity, they're both free, guys. Choose to spread kindness. You have a choice. We all have a choice. Every day we choose to wake up and we choose to kick ass, through the day. We choose our meal of the day. Every day we make decisions. We make choices every day. Try to choose what's right.
right. So we have a thing where we call tip of the day.
yeah.
We'd love for you to leave some advice. Anything you want to leave for the audience.
Right into your
Don't open the door for anybody. Don't be scared. For all the youngsters, come out and protest peacefully too. Don't be scared. They want us to be scared. But come out. And I do want to go back to a question you asked me about a shout out, or anyone. Actually, for this is for me, but shout out to Steve from East Los Barbershop. He's actually, because no one wanted to go protest with me, and he actually picked up the phone and he left his clients and canceled to help me go make that change, because I'm like, in case I go to jail, bail me out, bruh. And, I felt that support. And then he even dropped his clients, and just don't be scared. And like you said, be the change that you want to see in the world. So, yeah.
With that being said,
well, this has been another great episode of Take This Tip Podcast. I'm your host, Shaun.
I'm your host, Nick.
And I'm Susie, guys.
We out. See you when we see you.
Ta-ta.
Bring gas outside.
Let's go protest now. Fuck Donald Trump.
Rolling. Thank you, Aaliyah.